The police questioned human rights lawyer Anon Lamfa and student organizer Pare Chiwarak, known to his supporters as Penguin. More than 30 opposition figures have been arrested since the anti-government protests began last month. Demonstrators are demanding a new election, a constitution and reforms to the monarchy. Criticism of the monarchy is illegal in Thailand. Now, Facebook says it's followed a government order to take down a popular group that allows discussions about the royal family. The page, Royalist Marketplace, was blocked on Monday evening. It can still be accessed from outside Thailand. Facebook says it's compelled to restrict content deemed illegal by the government, but it is preparing its own legal action. The group has more than 1 million members. Well, Pavin Chachavalpongpun has founded that blog page, and he's an associate professor of Thai politics at the Center for Southeast Asian Studies at Kyoto University. He's joining us live by Skype. Thank you very much indeed for being with us. Let's talk about the Facebook legal challenge first of all. How do you react to that?
Well, first, when Facebook informed me last night for the fact that Facebook has to oblige the blocking of my group, I was very disappointed. But then when I woke up to the news this morning that Facebook has shifted its position, I don't know what would come next. But nonetheless, I think this is a good signal from Facebook. You know, for one, Facebook is responsible in terms of protecting sort of free speech, you know, and Thailand could set an example for Facebook, you know, to stand on this kind of principle. That remains to be seen. What would be a kind of legal proceedings that Facebook will enter into?
If I understand it correctly, you've already set up another page and it's already got about 400,000 followers. What do you read into that?
I have to correct you on that. I set up this group immediately last night after the blocking, and up to now we have more than 500,000 already. So this goes to show that this group is hugely popular, especially among a younger generation who has been so hungry about, you know, knowing information about the monarchy, the issue that has long been a taboo, you know, in Thai society. But I think it is now time for them to request an honest discussion on it, form an institution that has caused an impact on daily life of the people.
Let me ask you about the timing of these protests, because the father of the current king was, of course, in power for a very long time, and there was unrest and there was some degree of discontent, but it didn't seem to cross the line in the way that this appears to have done. What is it about what is it that people are actually protesting against? Is it the institution, if you like, of the royal family, or is it the individual who is the current king?
I think it's a combination of what you just said. Yes, you are right. There's a big difference between the previous king and the current king. And I think this is the main source of discontentment among the people. I think Thai people in the past had their faith in the monarchy. Unfortunately, the current king is unable to provide the same kind of security and stability for the people. During the COVID, when the economic hardship hit the people really hard. But then these people, when they look at the news, they saw their king having a good time in Germany. Basically, Germany is a long-term home for the new king now. So because of that, with the lack of moral authority of the new king, and also the fact that they think they have been abandoned by their own king, this combination sort of pushed the people on the street and right now demand for reform of the monarchy.
How concerned are you, given the fact that you're putting these pages up, obviously, from Kyoto, that the government will essentially run out of patience and we might end up seeing violence on the streets of Thailand?
Definitely. I think the request from the student would never come down now because the student pushed the ceiling so high that the only way for students is to continue with their request. Now the ball is in the court of the government. How far the government would tolerate this protest? Right now, they are using legal tools in order to arrest certain people, including blocking my group. But then knowing the personality of the current king, you know, with his reputation, especially violent reputation, there is a possibility of the use of force could be out, you know, in order to curb the student.
Pavin Chachavalpongpun, we appreciate you joining us on Aljazeera. Thank you very much indeed.